On today's Toborlife special, we'll be introducing you all to this guy right here. Our lovely team member, Camp Peavy! Also famously known as the president of HomeBrew Robotics of Silicon Valley and the author of HomeBrew Robotics. Stay tuned to learn more about Camp and his club, and maybe you'll find yourself joining too.
My name's Camp Peavy. I've been building robots for, 1982. I guess that's 42 years, something like that. Anyways, I'm not an engineer. My degree's in marketing. And if I had graduated on time, I'd have started selling advertising for my local newspaper. My life would have been so different. I graduated 2 years late, and the last project we did was on Apple Computer. And I thought, oh, that looks interesting. I'd like to get involved with that. So I hired on with the local Radio Shack Computer Center.
Oh, wow.
Back when they had computer centers. And I picked up a book by David Heisman called How to Build Your Own Self-Programming Robot, where he describes an 8085 microprocessor controlled device that you build from scratch with a 12-bit address bus and an 8-bit data bus. And you set the address, you set the data, and you punch the load button and you program it 1 byte at a time.
Wow.
After about 5 years of working with this graduate level program, I finally succeeded. The cool thing was he had a theory of machine intelligence back in 1979 that was basically reinforced learning. And I managed to get the alpha level machine intelligence with a IBM PC with a Relay IO card, where the robot would basically do like random motions until it discovered forward or reverse, the only two motion patterns with linear velocity. So in 1984, I got a nice $4,000 bonus check, and I loaded up my cat and my robot and moved to Silicon Valley from Tallahassee, Florida, seeking great ultimate adventures. Best move I ever made. I landed in Palo Alto, started working at Zach Electronics. And it was interesting because this was a place at a time. Okay, they were old school electronics distributor from, the 50s that happened to be located in Silicon Valley. They had a vacuum tube machine. We were selling electronics and stuff to Apple Computer, Digital. Who was the one? A lot of aerospace industry anyways, but they had an old posting machine upstairs for the checks, and they had a Visi record system for doing the inventory. From there, I parlayed my computer skills and so forth into being a PC technician. I'm still building robots as a hobby all along, and hired on with Intuit. I was PC tech there, network administrator, eventually got laid off, and doing robots as a hobby all along. Eventually got laid off my nice, cushy network admin job. And so it's like, what do you want to do with the rest of your life? And I created this kit called the Protobot, that had a basic stamp in it. I think I sold it for $150, something like that. I sold a couple dozen kits, but I quickly realized I'm not going to make a living doing this. But it allowed me to pivot. And to change, because I'm building robots as a hobby. Actually, I try to do this business, HomeBrew Robots. And it allowed me to pivot and hire on with Jameco Electronics, not just as a PC tech, but as an electronics technician.
Wow. Yeah.
Okay. They actually had just acquired the robot store, so I was like the robot guy at Jameco Electronics.
Yeah.
And I went back to school. That was an eye-opener.
Wow.
I'd read electronics books till I blew it, but nothing like having a good professor in front of you explaining that you can interact with to make the light bulbs go on. An opportunity came along at Nito Robotics. They were looking for a technician. And so a friend of mine sold them on the idea that I was this electronics wizard. So I got in. I was employee 16 at Nito Robotics. 2007. And so Nito developed the first intelligent robot vacuum cleaner. It featured a 2-dimensional LiDAR, could map and navigate. In 2010, Mike Ferguson created a ROS package for it. ROS is an acronym for Robot Operating System. This is the standard framework for robotics and is the current focus of my activities. I was at Nito for 13 years. We sold the company to a German conglomerate, and the product lives on today as a commercial cleaning robot called Nexero. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Can you tell me about HomeBrew Robotics and the club's mission?
The club's mission is to foster actually to have a place for robot enthusiasts to come and show what they build, ask questions, that kind of thing.
But what is your message for those who are hesitant to fully commit to robotics or treat it as a hobby, or afraid to join Robotics Club? Like, what would you tell them?
It's not for everybody, but it could be for anybody, okay? You know, and if this is for you, just do it and enjoy it. Too many times, like I say, I'm not an engineer. And what I've observed about engineers is if it's not perfect, they don't show it.
Yeah.
It's got to be perfect. I'm like, no, it doesn't have to be perfect.
Yeah.
So you build what you got what you built, and you show up with it. So I guess advice, if you're interested in sort of this thing and you need motivation, enter a contest. Even if you fail miserably, that contest comes again next year, usually. And so you pick up where you left off and then you keep going. The HomeBrew Club is a great place to come and show what you've built. Okay, so if you show up there, it's a monthly place where you come and say, see what you built. Or if you're stuck on something, it's like, I'm stuck on this. Anybody have any suggestions? We've got a mailing list too and that sort of thing. So, you want to find like-minded people, participate, have meetings, enter a contest, have a deadline, and that's the way to get building.
What are your thoughts on Toborlife and Unitree and the future of our company?
Well, I had a moment between the humanoid G1 and the quadruped Go 2 about where we are and where computers were in 1982.
Yes. Okay.
So the technology grows logarithmically.
Do you have any last comments or thoughts?
This is that I interact with a lot of hobbyists, but this is more of an obsession than a hobby, okay?
Yes.
And the potential is huge. And so I hear them complaining about having to spend $100 here or $200 there, and I'm like, dude, if your hobby was golf or scuba diving or skiing, this is pennies. This is nothing.
It is
cheap. Okay, just stop. Okay, just stop. Spend some damn money, and get something and work on it, and you'll have a good time with it. And the potential, career-wise and so on and so forth is just wide open. Do what you enjoy for a living, because you're going to be doing it for a long time.
Yes, that's something that I need to remind myself too.
There you go, Lynn. I think you're doing a good job of it.
Thank you. All right. It was nice speaking with you. Thank you so much.
Nice. All right.
Interested in joining HomeBrew Robotics? Visit their website in the description to learn more about their meeting. Or if you want to learn more about Camp and his journey with robots, get his book HomeBrewed Robots on Amazon today. Toborlife will be releasing a page on our website called HomeBrew Robotics, where you will get to see special insights to the club and Camp's updates. Sign up for the launch, link in the description. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that alarm button for notifications. Tobor out.